Last time we will discussing about the various types of shock. Just for your review, the people who are not present last time, you should know shock is a inadequate oxygenation of the tissue because of the inadequate perfusion. And the simple definition is that defective or inadequate oxygenation of the tissue is called shock. There are various types of shock. One is the hypovolemic shock. The second is the, you can say, the cardiocompressive shock, cardiogenic shock. We have discussed the hypovolemic shock. The most important cause of the hypovolemic shock is hemorrhagic shock, loss of blood due to road traffic accidents or maybe because of the internal bleed in the form of hematemesis or melena or severe bleeding from the back passage. Hemorrhagic shocks, then the loss of fluids and electrolytes, volume depletion, as you find in case of the vomiting and severe diarrhea or intestinal obstructions, or there may be loss of plasma, which can also lead to volume depletion. So these are the types, these are the causes of hypovolemic shock. Commonest one is the hemorrhagic shock. Second is the loss of fluids and electrolytes in the form of severe diarrhea or severe vomiting, or in case of severe burns, you can also have the loss of plasma, which can lead to volume depletion, leading to hypovolemic shock. The second type of shock I told you is the cardiocompressive shock. In this case, you will find the patient has a pneumothorax, that is tension pneumothorax. There's a air leak in the pleural cavity which shifts the mediastinum on the opposite side, and heart is also the component of the mediastinum. So there's a pressure on the heart which obstruct the, which compress the great veins of the heart, that is superior vena cava or inferior vena cava. As a result of that, the neck veins gets engorged, heart sound gets muffled, or and you find a tympanic node in the ipsilateral side of the chest. This is called as the cardiocompressive shock. Cause is pneumothorax, hemothorax, which shift the mediastinum and cause the compression of the great veins of the heart. This type of shock is called cardiogenic shock, or the other cause of this cardiocompressive shock is the pericardial tamponade. That is, there is stab, bullet injuries in the pericardium, and there is a collection of blood in the pericardium which compress the heart. This is called, it's also one variety of a cardiocompressive shock or cardiac tamponade. The pathology is not inside the heart, but there is an extrinsic compression on the great veins of the heart or on the heart itself, which will impair its diastolic, ventricular diastolic filling or atrial filling. So that is the type which is called as the cardiocompressive shock. The third shock is cardiogenic shock. The cause is acute massive myocardial infarction, pump failure. You always give him the uh, vasodilator or the what are called the inotropic sport like glutamine, and the patient is not responding. The answer is you have to use the intra-aortic balloon pump. That is, you inflate during the diastole and deflate during systole. So that is the only way. When the shock is not responding to the inotropic sport like glutamine or dopamine, then answer is you have to use the intra-aortic balloon pump. This pump you inflate it during the diastole so that it will improve the coronary circulations, and you deflate it during the ventricular systole. And in case of refractory shock, which is not responding to the inotropic sport, the needs is the intra-aortic balloon pump. That will the last resort for the management of a refractive cardiogenic shock which may occur during the coronary artery bypass operation. The heart does not pump. So at that time, I think the treatment will be the intra-aortic balloon pump. That is the last resort to treat the cardiogenic shock. Otherwise, you can give him the fluids and the inotropic sports, which may treat the cardiogenic shock. But one thing you should remember, there are three things. One is the inotropic sport. Second is the intra-aortic balloon pump. Next one. That is cardiogenic shock. And now we will discuss the neurogenic shock. Neurogenic shock, when it may be defined as when the cause is there is a loss of a sympathetic control on the cardiovascular system. As a result of that, you will find the sympathetic tone of the vessel and the action on the heart is gone. The commonest cause you would find in case of a spinal cord injury. The sympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system is the thoracolumbar outflow. So when there is spinal cord injury, you will find there is a loss of vasoconstriction on the blood vessel, on the venules, arterioles, capillaries, and the heart is also slow down because the sympathetic stimulate the heart, and you will find the patient has a bradycardia, and there is a loss of vasoconstriction, the vessels, the venules, the arteries, the capillaries, especially the veins and venules and the capillaries, they are dilated one. As you find in case of spinal cord injury or sometime in the brainstem injury. And that is also when the brainstem VMC and the cardio regulatory center is also present in the brainstem. There's fatal brain injury involving the brainstem and the spinal cord injuries. There are two important causes of neurogenic shock because there's loss of tone in the blood vessels, especially the venules, the capillaries, and secondly the arterioles. And in this clinical situation, you find there's hypotension and there is a bradycardia because hypotension is due to the vasodilatation, peripheral vasodilatation, especially the venules, the veins, and secondly the arterioles. So there is a venous pooling of the blood pooled in the veins. As a result of that, you will find the cardiac output is decreased and the blood pressure is low. The second thing is the extremities, they are warm because there's a pooling of the blood is there, but the pulse rate is slow. That is bradycardia. The treatment in this case is initially you have to lift the foot end of the raise, this is called Trendelenburg position, so that the pooling of the blood in the periphery that is drained by if you elevate the foot end of the patients that contribute to the venous return, and if it's not responding along with you have to give IV fluids. So you want to expand the volume because the effective circulatory blood volume is very much decreased. So foot and raise and the volume replacement, Hartmann or normal saline, whatever the fluid is available at that time. And if the patient is still not responding to this neurogenic shock, the pressure is still low, you can use the vasopressor drugs like metaraminol or noradrenaline that will increase the tone in the blood vessels, or phenylephrine or ephedrine. They are both alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptor stimulant. So the tone in the vessel is increased and the venous return is improved. The volume become better, cardiac output better, and patient become better. This is called a neurogenic shock when the loss of vasoconstriction or a loss of sympathetic tone in the peripheral blood vessel, and also the action of the catecholamines on the heart because the sympathetic tone is a sympathetic paralysis of the autonomic nervous system, especially in the spinal cord injury or brainstem injury. Third one is that drugs also take a very important role. There are certain drugs like ganglion blocking drugs. They can cause very severe fall in the blood pressure, and the other drugs also like you can find is spinal and regional and general anesthesia. In that case, you can also get a neurogenic shock because of the use of drugs which cause peripheral vasodilatation and the various anesthesia, regional anesthesia, or a general anesthesia. The drugs which have been used, they cause peripheral vasodilatation and patient may go into neurogenic shock. The treatment is foot and elevation, IV fluids. Not responding to that, you can use these vasopressor drugs, that is vasoconstrictors, especially the noradrenaline. You can also use the pseudoephedrine or phenylephrine. बेसिक पैथोलॉजी क्या होती है कि लॉस ऑफ टोन इन द वेसल्स, venous pooling, arterial dilatation, hypotension without tachycardia, warm pink skin because the peripheral vasodilatation, blood pressure is low, and minimal response to fluid. So obviously you have to use the vasopressor drug to raise the tone in the blood vessel to improve the venous return to the heart. So fluids and vasopressor plus the foot and elevation, these are the management in case of neurogenic shock. Because neurogenic shock, the blood flow to the brain is also reduced and patient become unconscious or stupors. The next shock is the septic shock, and this septic shock is also known as SIRS, systemic inflammatory response syndrome. The septic shock, there are two types. Anaphylactic shock is also one part when you see a bad scene. There is also loss of a sympathetic tone in the blood vessels, and patient gets collapse. And this anaphylactic shock may be due to certain drugs, and the life saving in case of anaphylactic shock because of the drugs. There may be a type 1 hypersensitivity. The drug of choice in this case is the adrenaline. That is called anaphylactic shock. Is also one variety of the neurogenic shock. Then the in anaphylactic shock, as is the autoimmune type 1 hypersensitivity, there is vasodilatation, increased size of vascular bed, blood is trapped in the small vessel and viscera, temporary loss in the total circular volume, sudden severe allergic reaction to drugs, toxin, food, plants. The treatment choice is uh, the best thing is that you have to use the adrenaline if the cause of this anaphylactic shock is the drugs in synchronicity. Give oxygen, give volume, and the patient become better. Then the compensatory shock is that when you treat the patient at the right time, the all the signs of shock will be reversed and perfusion become better. But if you having a delay in treatment of the shock and quite a good time, 3 4 hours has passed and the patient is still losing the blood, or so in this case there is a severe degree of lactic acidosis which will jeopardize the functions of various organs of body like heart, kidney, and brain. So that because of the multiple organ failure, lack of the proper treatment at the right time, severe lactic acidosis will jeopardize the function of different organs, the kidney, brain, heart, and patient will die because of metabolic acidosis. The septic shock is the underlying cause of septic shock is a septic focus, just like it is a perforation of the intestine, like duodenal perforation, like small bowel perforation or colonic perforation. There is acute peritonitis, septic focus, or you have a gangrene tube, or you have got a abscess in the body, or you have a severe soft tissue infections. These are the causes of septic shock. What happened in the septic shock? This is systemic inflammatory response syndrome, because these septic focus, they produce toxins, the bacteria, the especially gram-negative bacteria. These toxins, they cause ischemic damage, and also these toxins, they cause activation of the macrophages, which are the biggest source of the cytokines. As a result of that, these endotoxins, which leads to increased production of cytokines, and the cytokines are interleukin type 1 or tumor necrosis factor alpha. These are the very powerful cytotoxins, and these cytotoxins are produced as a result of this sepsis, and they enhance the capillary permeability. Endothelial lining permeability is increased, and there is a shift of the fluids from the vesical compartment into the interstitium. As a result of that, the patient will initially develop a low output inflammatory shock, the cardiac output low, the CV line is pressure is low, tissue perfusion is very low, and the patient will show a typical sign and symptom of hypovolemic shock. But if you give him IV fluids to improve the intravascular volume, you have to shift the patient into the ICU. You have to eliminate the source of infection. You have to increase the activities of the pump, the heart. You have to use the first is the volume. Of course, you use antibiotics. You also cover with the H2 blockers, correction of the fluids and electrolytes imbalance. Or if you find that these cytokines may damage the pulmonary circulation, results in pulmonary infiltrates, and this is what's called ARDS. This septicemia of the cytokine, they also damage the tubules of the kidney, and patient may develop ATN. Similarly, the cytokine also the depressant of the myocardium along with the acidosis. But septic shock has a high mortality around about 50%. If you pick up in a good time, restore the volume, appropriate antibiotics, cardioprotective giving the inotropic sports, and you can also vasopressor for a short time. And when the resuscitation with the fluids okay, you can take the patient to the theater and eliminate the focus. The septic shock, the ultimately cause of death is a multiple organ failure, and the cause of multiple organ failure is the increased production of cytokines by the macrophages, and the macrophages, they are the biggest source of cytokines. And this is an inflammatory reaction which occurs because of the septicemia, and these inflammatory products, the top of one is the cytokines, and these cytokines in interleukin 1 and the tumor necrosis factor, they enhance the vascular permeability, which lead to shift of the fluid in the interstitium, and patient develop a classical picture of hypovolemic shock plus the sepsis. And these sepsis, they can knock down the kidney, the heart, the liver, and also the at the level of the brain. So this type of the septic shock has a very high mortality. One should be pick up corrective fluid and electrolytes imbalance, appropriate antibiotics, check the oxygen of the tissues, support it, and when the volume is good, good antibiotic cover, then you must eliminate the source of infection. If there is gangrene, you do amputation. If there is abscess, you drain the insulin and drain the abscess. And if there is a perforation of the gut, you have to do laparotomy. And after the patient has to go into ICU for a proper uh, evaluation or the resuscitation of the patient regarding their fluids and electrolytes, and you may need cardiac or respiratory support if the uh, multiple organs they are compromised because of the SIRS, or because of the systemic inflammatory response syndrome. That is the cause of failure of multiple organs in septic shock. That's all. खत्म हो गया ना